On this episode of Flip Your Friday, we had an awesome experience. We brought in one of the founders of Bebemos, one of the newest tequilas that's taking over San Diego. Jon Maddux is a longtime entrepreneur that through COVID decided, I'm gonna start a tequila, just like everybody else, right? Not quite. This one was really interesting. We got a chance to learn about his journey in entrepreneurship, then starting this brand. We experienced a tasting. This tequila is a blend, which is something I had never heard of or thought of with a tequila. Anyway, if you have any interest in tequila or entrepreneurship in general, this is a really interesting story. It's definitely for you. So take a listen.
You're doing this incredible tequila brand. There's a lot there. It's really fun.
It's one of the things we were talking about on this show, is talking a little bit about either the entrepreneurial journey or the athlete journey.
I was like 12 years old. My Christmas present was like a deck, and I didn't even get the trucks or the wheels.
Sure.
And so it was like, it's one of those things where, I needed to make money. I saw this bucket of bubble gum. It was like a penny for a wrapped piece of bubble gum. I had $5 saved, and I gave them 500 pieces of bubble gum, sold them for 10 cents each,
Yeah.
10x. And then I bought a skateboard that first day. It was like turned 5 into 50. We started a tequila club, started finding smaller batch stuff that's not in America. Our whole model was we get our import license, distribution license, and then we find stuff and we're not trying to be famous ourselves. We're trying to promote them. And so they embraced us. And
oh, cool. Can you remember a time where you're like, holy fuck, like, what am I doing? What did I get myself into?
I was called into the principal's office and almost got expelled.
Didn't have a license to sell, huh?
It was my first regulatory action.
Well, welcome to Flip Your Friday. I'm your host, Win Silberman. This is my co-host, Casey LeBlanc. Casey, we have a great guest here today in Jon Maddux. Jon, first, thank you very much for hanging out and
yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Our audience loves to hear about various people that take entrepreneurial journey. We love interviewing guests that have had measured success in any particular sector, but you've had really an interesting life. I thought we were going to just talk about this brand that you've founded in tequila, but what I'd like to do prior to that is just step a little back, talk a little bit about your origin and journey, because if this is accurate, it sounds like, for example, I mean, you were working for a label head at Warner Brothers for a little bit. Maybe you had a song that you wrote for Smash Mouth even? I mean, is that true?
I worked with Smash Mouth.
Yeah, so that...
Unfortunately, nothing came out with them.
But that's music. Okay, so this isn't tequila.
Right.
And then if you fast forward, obviously I'm fast forwarding a lot, but like in 2008, during the financial crisis in the real estate market, you created Walk Away, which I assume probably involves something to do with short sales and helping people get out of the concept of foreclosure, if I'm guessing.
Right. Yeah.
And then you fast forward, and now you're doing this incredible tequila brand. There's a lot there. It's really fun. But if you wouldn't mind, just talk a little bit about the beginning first and Warner and how that starts, and let's just kind of move forward.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
I'll go way back to like when I was a kid.
Sure.
My father's a pastor. And not the kind that, makes you reach deep in your pockets and pull out all your money. Not that kind. So we were modest, the family, didn't have a lot of money. It wasn't like they made a ton of money. So I kind of got this idea that if I wanted to buy like a skateboard or something like that, I had to actually figure out a way to make money. Because I think my Christmas present was like a deck, and I didn't even get the trucks or the wheels.
Sure.
And so it was like, it's one of those things where, I needed to make money. And so I found my mom was taking me to one of these little boutique little spots that sells, different knickknacks, candles, all that kind of stuff. And I saw this bucket of bubble gum. It was like a penny for a wrapped piece of bubble gum. So I took out my allowance. I had $5 saved, and I gave them 500 pieces of bubble gum, put them all in my backpack.
Sold them for 20.
Sold them for 10 cents each, 10x my money. And then I bought a skateboard that first day. It was like turned 5 into 50. It was pretty.
So this is the quintessential entrepreneurial. You start at an early age, right?
100%. You either have it or you don't.
Do some sort of that. Yeah. So that's.
I was like 12 years old, right?
Yeah, that's
great.
incredible. That's one of the things we were talking about on this show. Is talking a little bit about either the entrepreneurial journey or the athlete journey, and it's funny how it does
the commonality.
originate. The commonality of athlete and entrepreneur is very similar from a work ethic or even a start perspective. So that's cool.
And I think it stems from your parents are just giving you everything, right? Like you only have. And then that the desire deep down in you to want more, and I think that's where it's and then you figure out that you can do it, right? Like you figure out some little hack like that.
You experience one measure of success, and you have momentum.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people get kind of discouraged, right? Because especially as a kid, if you get to that point where you hit a no or something, kind of detrimental to your business happens, that could derail you. And that's the difference of becoming an entrepreneur or not, is where you hit that roadblock, right? Did you have any moment that you can remember, whether, as a kid or as through your journey, where you kind of hit that roadblock? Can you remember a time where you're like, holy fuck, like what am I doing? What did I get myself into? Because these are the things, whether it's athlete or business, that are really interesting to people listening. It's like, tell me a time where it was like, holy shit.
Well, I think that story I just told you, I was called into the principal's office and almost got expelled.
Didn't have a license to sell, huh?
It was my first regulatory action.
So, you got audited by...
Pretty used to that in California.
Right? So I had to run in with that. And then I had one of my good friends steal the idea. So I think that's why we ended up in the principal's
Your
office.
former good friend.
Yeah, I was like,
those are former good friends, we call them.
Who later created Hubba Bubba, but we'll get into that later.
Exactly. No, I mean, I think just throughout each year and each thing that I would try to do, you always come into obstacles. And I think the heart of an entrepreneur is that you don't quit. You don't ever see even a no as like a stopping point. It's more of a sort of a roadblock, and it's more of a detour, and you have to learn how to bob and weave and get,
I love that.
And learn how to actually get something done. And I'm just a crazy optimist. I just always think I can do it if something's there.
I had a coach when we played, and his favorite line is, obstacles are what you see when you lose sight of your goal. And it speaks to exactly what you're saying. I believe that you have to push through those things.
But there's common threads that you mentioned, is this insane amount of optimism.
Yep.
Right. And like so I'm always curious, because I myself find, just looking inward to be completely optimistic, almost like delusional.
Right.
Right. And
yes, you are.
I'm curious. Thank you. One of the nicer things he's ever said about me. But my question is, when you hit these roadblocks, right, and I'm sure in any journey, and we're going to talk a little bit about it, what are some of the things that you can do to maintain this optimism in those, maybe what you'd call like a darker time or challenging things that are going to come up, but to maintain that level of optimism is really one of those differentiators. Mm-hmm. How do you do that? Tequila. There you go. Moving right into the taste
brilliant.
Testing. Yeah, that was, what a plug. No, there you go. That's the end of the show, folks. Just drink more tequila.
That's great. But like, in seriousness, I think, I'm a cancer survivor. So when I was 25, I was on a jet ski in Lake Havasu all day long, having the best time, drinking a ton. And that night, my whole leg went numb. The next day, they rushed me to the ER. I thought I was going to lose my leg. 25 years old.
Wow.
And
this was all within like 24 or 48 hours?
Yeah.
You thought you were going to lose your leg? Wow.
And I'm 25. I was sitting across from the doctor, the orthopedic surgeon. He's like, we're going to go in, we're going to cut. We know there's a tumor because they did some tests. And we don't know if it's cancer. We don't know, what it is. So, he's like, let's go in there. And they shaved all my legs, both of them, because they're like, we might have to go into this one and take an artery.
Get a vein. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just, I'm going under thinking am I going to wake up with one leg or with two big scars or what, And then I went through the whole, I didn't have to do chemo, thank God, but I had to do radiation and just go through all this crazy stuff at a young age that every day is a gift. So I just think of every day is a gift, and
so perspective.
I think perspective is really key. But back to the optimism thing, I think, when you grow up, some of us are blessed to have good parents that just say you can do anything, whatever you put your mind to. Yeah, and I watched my dad do some pretty cool stuff when I was younger. Like, he created a video game, but never, he never had that real big success of but he did create this Christian video game called Archaeology. It was like Donkey Kong. Remember that game, Donkey Kong? And it was, you were feeding the animals in the ark and stuff. And so I was like, my dad could do this kind of stuff, and never made money on it, but still, it was just like that vision of, whatever you put your mind to. I kind of got that from my dad. So.
I have this a similar experience with my parents, is that we had very humble beginnings and growings up, but they never said no. I was always asking for stuff. I wanted new clothes. I wanted a go-kart. I wanted a lot of stuff, and they never said no. They just said, figure it out. Yeah. And it was this idea of they're almost training you. Right. To, really problem solve, to create your own business, to create your own revenue streams and things like that. And it's interesting. I hear that a lot with entrepreneurs, is that they're given this gift of, luck or whatever with their parents, and their parents really at a young age do something. And oftentimes maybe they don't know that they're doing this, but they're giving you that gift of, you know, hey, figure things out,
Right.
be your own, you know, person or man
Right.
or woman, and figure out how to generate revenue and money and things like that. So that, and seeing it with your dad, I was also got a chance to see my dad as an entrepreneur, and he also didn't do extremely well, but you see as possible.
You saw the spirit.
I saw the
the
spirit of
messaging.
And that's infectious. I think it's like
Absolutely.
it rubs off on you at a young age, and you know, and you see them kind of go through hard things and overcome it, right? And then
That's really important.
Yeah.
What was your first venture? Was it in the real estate space? Was that your first real like big company?
Yeah, I would say. Well, yeah, I think. Anyway, so I think it was mortgages. I got into mortgages.
Okay.
And really funny story is I was literally walking out of church, and I was like a youth pastor at the time. You know, I went to Bible college, and you know, I was thinking maybe I'll follow my dad's footsteps, which I didn't really want to do. But I was walking out of church one day, and this guy, who was one of my good buddies, he says, "Oh, that's my buddy's new car," and it was a brand new convertible like Mercedes, and I'm like, dude, that's a sick car. And he's like, "Oh, he paid cash for that." And so I said, what does he do? He's like, he's a mortgage broker. And I was like, mortgage broker. And then I later on, after like going through some like, you know, worked for a collection agency, which sucked. Yeah. Calling people that hang up on you and yell at you. Yeah. And then, you know, finally
they don't want to hear from you.
They don't want, and even now, I mean, imagine how hard it is today because no one answers the phone.
Yeah. But that's also invaluable training, right? If you can pick up the phone and talk to people and do phone sales, I would tell anyone out there, this is a public service announcement to all you young kids out there, seriously, figure sales out. If you can figure out how to sell stuff, like you have a great opportunity to earn the rest of your life.
Such training, such good training.
And it's just reps. Yeah. You tell everyone, like, you see golfers, they hit at the golfing range. You see, I was at a Pottery game the other night. They're taking batting practice, 20 minutes before the game, like reps, get out and sell. You know?
Yep. So true.
Right? Like, especially if you're a CEO, like if you're a leader, you are always selling, whether it's recruiting, whether, you're selling in investment, trying to get investment dollars in, things like that.
You make it habitual. Forced habit is a great concept.
Yep.
It's just what you're saying. Reps.
And being able to go through like, hearing no and not letting you lose enthusiasm.
Rejection.
Right? Yeah. Someone said like this, the definition of success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. That's like a freaking
that's great.
Amazing quote. That's one of my favorite.
But I always question some stuff like that, right? Because it is debilitating at times. Like there are, like I'm just more realistic because I've just been in the foxhole for so long where you're like, you go through these challenges and you're like, fuck, I honestly don't, sometimes you just don't know. And the way that I kind of describe getting through some of those moments is one day at a time. Yeah. Like literally, I remember going through like a real struggle in some of the business like over the last 15 years. And I remember, all right, let's just get through today. Yep. Let's just do one. Gotta go one day at a time, like one fight at a time. Sometimes you gotta break down into the hour.
I also think one of the things I've learned from you, Casey, is I've seen and I know when you struggle, but you never complain. And I always love when you say you're always looking for a solution. You've trained yourself to look for solution. You've not trained yourself to go, woe is me. Yeah. This hurts. You're like, okay, how are we gonna fix this? Yeah, right. It's never, and that's an important mindset to have for anybody who's trying to start anything by themselves or continue to do what they're doing in work.
Yeah. Well, I have a saying. I didn't make this up, and usually most of my sayings I don't, but I pull it and then I take credit for it. So
he did that all. That's how he passed college. Too, by the way.
It is that in sports, yes. But you get what you tolerate in all things, right? Mm-hmm. And so part of that is if you start listening to people and their behavior is complaining and say, hey, what's the problem? Bring me some solutions. Right. Give me your opinion on which solution is going to be most effective. Yeah. I will or will not take it, or sometimes I'll help guide you, or we'll work it out.
But the
together.
mindset's different.
But it's just very much solution oriented, right? So now
Problem solving.
you get into mortgages, right? And so that was in what year?
That was in I think 96,
early 2000s. Yeah,
96. So before the big boom.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a nice chance then to rise.
I mean, I was selling rates in the 7s and 8s, so I was like, when they went up, I was like, I've done this before. It sucks, but
Yeah. So have you been in mortgage since '96? Are you still in?
Yeah. I'm the CEO of Fund Loans, so it's a mortgage wholesale lender.
Got it.
And so our customers are brokers, mortgage brokers.
Got it. Okay. So you do that then, and how did you end up? Do you want to get into the tequila side of it, right? Like so. Yeah. So walk us through. Walk us through. Bebemos. And how we're sitting here looking at a bottle, and after
I'm getting thirsty.
After you give us the background, then we want to do kind of sample the product. This is as good of a sampling as we've ever had on the show because we're very excited about. You have 2 tequila drinkers here that are very excited. Three, yes, okay. So tell us a little bit of background. What do we give it? Like how long? Give us some of the whole history and kind of where we're at now.
Okay, so tequila is a crowded space, right? 2020, COVID hits. My partner now has been a really good friend, best friend for 20-something years. We worked in the mortgage business for a while together. We're all sitting there, everything's depressing. There's no, you have to stay in your house. His wife had a business, or still does, called We Drink Bubbles, and it's a champagne club. And our wives are drinking champagne, and me and him are drinking tequila, probably Casamigos, or not, probably Clase Azul. We like a little nicer at that point.
A little sweet.
A little sweeter, a little nicer. But, we were just kind of getting into tequila. And they both were cheersing. They're like, we drink bubbles. And then him and I look at each other and we go, we drink tequila. And we kind of looked at each other like, wait, this could be a thing. Maybe we'll just copy his wife's business. And we can start a tequila club because it's like a champagne club. Yeah. So we started a tequila club. We raised a little capital for that through some founding members. And we started going down to Jalisco where they make tequila and started finding smaller batch stuff that's not in America. Our whole model was we get our import license, distribution license, and then we find stuff that's rare and, not.
Speaking of rare, just for the audience who doesn't understand like the depth of and history of tequila, Jalisco, can you just jump in a little bit to how important it is that it's from there? Because a lot of people don't understand or probably wouldn't know how important it is regionally to come from that specific area.
Yeah, so people think tequila is a drink, but it first is a place. It's a city, it's a town, little pueblo. And it's a region, there's a valley and then there's the highlands of tequila, but the tequila town is in the valley just outside of Guadalajara. And to your point, just like champagne, it has to be made in one of the regions that they allow it to be made. And that main region is Jalisco. And that's, people don't really know because all of us Americans love to go to the beach.
Right.
And Guadalajara is in the middle of the country of a little north of Mexico City. Yep. And so you have to make it there, which is pretty cool, right? Mm-hmm. It's like their little stamp on.
You're right. A lot of people don't know that. It is interesting.
And so we start going down there and we find these different makers and distilleries and families and farmers.
Just curious, like you go down there, do you do research before? You just kind of walking around talking to people and just freestyling it, or?
I mean, so I love Mexico. I used to go to Cabo all the time. Now I love Punta Mita. It's like my favorite place in the world.
It's beautiful there. It is beautiful.
So beautiful. And Punta Mita is not far from Tequila. It's about 2.5 hour drive. Yeah. And so we're down there and we meet this amazing concierge, part of this thing called Inspirato. I don't know if you've heard of Inspirato, but it's like a vacation type of thing where they own houses and you get to go. But anyway, our concierge, one day we call him, we say, hey, can we hire you to do a little tequila, research and development, little go and taste some stuff that's not in America. And he's like, sure, I'll go. And we told him we pay him a little money and pay for his little booze trip. So he goes and he finds a few different places and he calls me from one and he's like, this place doesn't sell in America. This place is the best tequila I've ever tried. Cool bottles, great people, and you got to meet him. So we're FaceTiming. He's totally drunk, right?
Yeah, sure.
And so he introduces me to this guy, Alejandro. Alejandro says, well, you're welcome to come anytime. And so we just got excited and we're like, all right, let's go visit that distillery. So we fly into Guadalajara. It's about 45-minute drive, just right before the town of Tequila. Place called Casa Marengo, and we just fall in love with their tequila. And so that was one of our early shipments for our club. Mm. And later on, the cool thing about having the club, which is WeDrinkTequila.com, that club is new bottle every quarter. And so we had to find a bunch of different brands, right? Yeah. And so that's been a challenge for us that, is not easy to do because there's a lot of tequilas, only 280 distilleries roughly, and there's about 3,000.
What do you look for when brands, right?
Yeah, 3,000 brands.
What do you look for when you're looking at a brand? Is it purity or what exact? Are there some things that you're looking for that hit certain marks? I would love to hear about it.
We've done like where we go to the bottle shops in Guadalajara, they have like all the brands. They have like 2,000 brands up on their shelves. Yeah. And we'll go and we'll look at bottles and we'll order buy like 2 or 3 cases, go back to the hotel and we'll just line them all up and we'll smell first. And if it doesn't pass the smell test, we just put it in the other box. And then if it smells good, we'll separate them. And then we smelled and we started tasting them. And if it doesn't taste good,
from numbers perspective, you said you're going to take back how many bottles, and out of those, how many of those pass the smell test?
not a lot. Not a lot
Really?
of them. Yeah, I mean,
Like a percentage, maybe 10%?
10, yeah, 10.
And this
15.
is a subjective, like, I just don't like the smell, or is there something like that's like
what is it? Yeah, it's a good question.
Well, so, like with anything in life, you smell food or you smell water, even it smells off. You don't want to drink it.
Yeah.
And tequila is alcohol. Obviously, it's 40% alcohol.
Yeah.
So,
Did it pass?
It actually does smell really good. Well, sorry for people just listening. I just grabbed the bottle and smelled it.
I'd like to.
So it's interesting because I don't think I've never thought of that, right? Like to smell tequila.
Because
you do think to smell. Sometimes I smell food. Sometimes
No, food for sure. I just don't know that I've ever
this makes
thought about
sense,
tequila.
implicitly.
Yeah.
right. I mean, and I think what happens with a lot of tequila that's cheaper or it's made cheaply or inexpensively is that they're just mass producing, right? So it's like they're not focused on quality, and quality is so important with any product, right? Whether it's Viore or any products, like you want really good quality. And so we were just very much driven to provide quality because we're successful people, me and my partner. I mean, we like nice things, right? And we figured our club would also like nice tequila. So we were just trying to really curate these bottles and what we're bringing to the club. And so when we would smell it and taste it, with bad tequila, it's going to smell like either nail polish or that strong alcohol forward. Yeah. And then that's because they're not making their cuts right. They're not, they're doing the distillation process really loosely, and they're just trying to get more product, more
So there's
quantity.
Substance in your methodology of smell tests. That's it. I wanted to just make sure. Yeah, it's fascinating.
When you're doing the club, what are the price points that you're bringing on the quarterly bottle, or what is that?
The club is $200 a quarter.
Okay.
And so sometimes you can't get a bottle that's worth $200, so we'll do two bottles, like a Reposado or a Blanco.
Okay.
Something like that to make it worth more than $200 because we want our club to get value.
Yeah. How many people are in the club?
Like over 300.
Oh wow,
that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you send I'm just so curious on this. I have a lot of. I think it's just really interesting because when you start drinking tequila and you're just kind of sipping it and really appreciating it instead of when you're 20 and you're just like, I just want to get fucked up.
Drunk.
Yeah. But if you start to
Shots.
appreciate it and drink it and start to understand like all the different ways in which you can experience tequila, it's quite interesting. So on the bottles, is there like a story with each of them? Do you kind of you tell the story of the tequila, and then someone would appreciate not only just what
the journey of that specific distillery or whatever happened.
Yeah, we started out making these insane, awesome videos. One of our partners is a very legendary music video director.
Oh, cool.
So he's done, he just won a VMA for Lainey Wilson Music Video of the Year, and does all of Keith Urban's, creative.
Oh, that's great.
So he's a legend.
Is he a San Diego guy?
He's a Nashville guy.
Okay.
But he's here a lot.
Is he?
Yeah, well, especially now.
But not more than 6 months.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
yeah.
Okay, so
anyone listening,
179 days.
Definitely in Nashville, 6 months in a day. I know that I know the game all too well.
Yes, that's so true. You have to be careful.
Be careful. Yes, just for clarification purposes. I don't know him, but I can guarantee he's in Nashville.
Well, at least his phone definitely is. But let's move on.
And his name's Patrick Tracy. He's an amazing dude.
Awesome.
But he does all of our branding, creative. But we started out with him doing these really cool videos of the distillery, the process. So our club could kind of feel like they were part of the journey of finding these tequilas with us. And, they're made so well that it's like we couldn't do it for every single brand, but we did it for several distilleries. And they love it because, here's some gringos coming down trying to get tequila. And we're not trying to be famous ourselves. We're trying to promote them. And so they embraced us. And,
oh, cool.
It was a really cool experience for them to be a part of this, I think. And a lot of them really wanted to be in the club. And sometimes we'd have to say no because the tequila wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And we've had, several of those experiences where you're like, we had planned, and I love the Mexico culture. It's really slow, right? Like you come, you have food, you drink, you're with them for hours. And then, at the very end, we start tasting the tequila and we're like, oh God, this is not good.
I like you.
But we had a great time.
Yeah, you're like, I love you.
Yeah.
But
Beautiful facility.
Yeah.
So we did go through it. That started about almost 5 years ago, like 4.5 years ago. So we've really been taking our time to come up with the Bebemos tequila. And like I said, we focused on quality. We found the distillery that our club loved. So all the people in our club.
So there's collective wisdom there.
Yeah. And we realized that later.
Research and development project, right? Just drink as much tequila as you possibly can.
Good, as long as it passes the smell test, though.
That's right. And now I think we, and doing this. So I want to hear the background on this first before we taste.
Yeah.
But just the smell alone has a very distinct.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is nice, and you can now, knowing that you're looking for that alcohol, kind of that. It's a real. You know that you have smelled that before in tequila, but you're just not really paying attention to it now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like seeing a red car. Now I can't unsee all these red cars driving around. I want to go smell more tequila. That's interesting. Okay, so walk us through how this originated.
So to the point of why they had to lime and salt for shots is because they had to cover up the lack of good quality, right? And I think it was back in the day when we all did Cuervo shots, in Tijuana or wherever. When you're on a vacation in Cabo, you would do the lime, the salt, and then you drink it and you do it to get drunk. It wasn't for flavor.
Right.
God forbid there was a worm in it.
Yeah, eat the worm. But yeah, it's one of those things that now has evolved a ton.
Sure.
Right? Like tequila is really becoming. It actually is the number one highest sales as far as spirits. So vodka is the top, and it kind of dipped last year. It's been dipping, where tequila is on this rise.
And that's one of the great things about competition implicitly. If you have more competition, the quality goes up, whether it's a sport, whether it's a league, whether it's anything. It's actually, competition is great. Yeah. It's good.
Absolutely.
What is the price point on this bottle that we're looking at?
It's 135.
135.
So our competition really is like Don Julio 42.
You want the connoisseur market.
Yeah, the ultra premium.
Ultra premium, yeah.
And when you taste other tequilas, I won't name names, but you can tell that, there's some sweetness to it.
Yeah.
But there's also like some bitterness to it. It's alcohol, so it should have some bitterness, but you can tell when it's not made well, and they're just trying to cover up that
you can tell as almost like a quasi. Is there such a thing as a sommelier version for
there is,
tequila?
Yeah.
Is there? There's a specific name for it, or is it just?
It's
like a sommelier-esque
like
type
a tequila
guy.
Nerd, I guess.
Yeah, but there is a particular process.
Yeah,
in
the somm categories include spirits.
Oh,
so
okay.
My partner Preston, he's a somm.
Wow.
And so he's very, very nerdy about tequila.
Yeah.
He's a perfectionist when it comes to this quality.
He's gonna know.
He's gonna know, and our palates are really aligned to the point where we can blind taste together, and most of the time we're always spot on together. But he definitely has a little bit more of that knowledge of the quality and how it's made, and just nerds out on all those details.
Sure.
Which is cool. It's great to have a partner like that. And so we wanted to make a tequila that you didn't need a lime with, you didn't need salt. People, some people love Blancos, some people love Reposados, some people love the aged stuff, the darker tequilas. We said, let's try something a little different, and we did a blend. So it's a Joven.
So you have a whole category that we're looking at.
This is a newer
tequila
category.
meritage.
Yes, it is. And so it's a Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo blended together.
I've never heard of that.
And that's what gives it like a really cool complexity to it.
Yeah,
so
that's really fun to.
Yeah, we thought like if you're a Reposado lover, you're gonna love this. If you like sipping on añejos, you're gonna love this. If you, please, no, go for it. If you like Blancos, it's got a good amount of Blanco in it. So
I've never heard of a meritage in tequila. Never heard of it.
It's newer.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it's we were just so obsessed with the quality and how it tastes. Because the point is, when you make a tequila brand, it is crowded. The biggest thing is sell through. So if a restaurant's not reordering it, then you're gonna fail, right? So it's one of those things that we had to make it so people would fall in love with it. Not only the taste, but the bottle. The bottle's what it's like.
And the thing
like
about drinks,
right? Is because you're gonna look in it out of 100 bottles that they're, and then you narrow it to the tequila.
Well, and then
shelf space
from a consumer perspective, you get, particularly when it comes to drinks, you get one shot.
Yeah.
They may try it once. It better taste good. And if it doesn't taste good, they'll never try it again.
Well, especially for up and coming, right? If
Yeah.
they don't know it. They'll look
at
the
this
bottle
price
and be
point.
like, hey, what is that? Right? And they're like, oh, and the bartender will be like, oh,
Yeah.
this is the story behind it.
Yep.
Or it. you get that one.
You get one shot.
Right?
Yeah, no pun intended.
Yeah. There you go. Can't even have first shot of tequila. It's already funny.
Do you mind if we
taste
test this?
You don't have a particular process that you like to incorporate before you taste it. Like you like to smell it.
Tell us what to do.
Yeah. Oh, there's a total nerdy way to do this.
Yeah, well, we're into that.
Yeah. Win is
So
definitely
you can swirl it like you do with wine. You want to open it up a little bit, and then definitely smell it.
So what are we? Walk us through, because people that are just listening, they're not watching. What are we smelling?
Well, you're definitely smelling alcohol, right?
Yep.
But it's a subtle smell of alcohol.
It is subtle.
But you smell the agave, because it's, if you think about what makes rum, it's the sugar cane, right?
Sugar. This is cactus.
This is agave, pure agave, 100% Blue Weber agave. So you smell a little bit of agave, and you also get a little other notes, little citrus notes. So our Reposado and Añejo that we blend in is aged in wine barrels. So the Reposado is aged 8 months in a Napa Cab wine barrel.
I just watched.
Is that specific oak?
60 Minutes has a great.
Yeah,
did you see
barrels.
the 60 Minutes?
There's a shortage on oak.
On these
Is there?
oak barrels.
I need to watch that.
And the resale value of
crazy.
oak barrels is insane.
Anyway,
but it talks about bourbon, actually. So a similar process that you're talking about with respect to they want the used wine barrels,
right?
And then
bourbon. Some tequila's made in bourbon barrels too,
right? Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so they actually do the wine, then the bourbon, and then a tequila goes in after.
Yeah, well, they'll use a used but they'll char it with fire, and
that'll take on some of the flavor.
Yeah, it does for sure, because it's in the wood.
Yeah. Okay,
right, so we're smelling it. I get that part.
But you know what's interesting? Like, again, is I've smelled tequila just inadvertently, and it has like a punch to it.
Yeah.
And this is absolutely.
My eyes are not watering. No, put it that way. You know what I mean?
Well, it has a like pleasant smell to it. There really is. So
that's how you know it's made well.
Yeah.
If it smells like the nail polish, which is like the ethanol, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna get that
pungy.
But then if you taste it and it's sweet, you know that they've probably
offset
added
it with.
Yeah, and so it's hard to cover
which
up
is
that
where
smell.
the hangover might come from, right?
Yes, because that ethanol really gets you.
Okay, so we're not going to get hungover today.
So what you're going to do is you're going to
not drink yet. Yeah, watch this. Is your breath or something going on?
So you're going to baptize your palate. And what that is you're going to take a super small sip.
Now, is this from your father's perspective? Is that where you learned that part?
Baptize, yes. I'm using a little Christianese.
We're going to baptize our palate.
Yeah, so you're going to swish it around your mouth.
Okay.
And then you're going to breathe out your mouth. And you're going to swallow and then breathe out your mouth.
First.
Wait.
Yeah.
Swish that again.
Swallow.
Swish, swallow, breathe.
Yes.
Swallow, breathe.
Swish, swallow, breathe.
Okay.
Small sip. So the first sip is never really the real sip. It's that baptism of your because it's like firing all these alcohol is like killing stuff in your mouth. And there's definitely stuff like that. And then the second sip's the real sip because now your palate's
ready.
Now you're prepared. Before we take that, when you're doing a sampling of multiple tequilas, do you do this with everyone?
Yeah,
I think to kind of clean.
It's really important when you line them up which one's first because sometimes people will be like, "Oh, that's really hot," because it's the first alcohol that's touching their mouth. So
luckily, Wynn's been drinking since 7, so this is not the first alcohol.
PM last night.
Right. Keep it going.
Yeah. So the first one is going to be just because it's the first taste of alcohol.
It's really interesting though, but you're literally saying that. Look, you got bacteria in your mouth. Who knows who Casey was kissing yesterday? There's a lot of things you need to clean first.
Right.
And that helps.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even it still should taste good because it's agave. Agave syrup is sweet. So agave, when you're cooking it, and you get the way the whole process is, then you ferment it and then you distill it.
Sure.
So it is a sugar. I mean, it's a agave
you can
syrup.
Taste it now that it's sitting.
Yeah.
We just had it about 30 seconds ago. So it is a little bit fiery. The first, kind of washing around. Then you take it.
My tongue is warm.
Yeah.
But then there is like this sweet, a little bit of sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't.
I agree.
So tequila should be a little sweet.
Okay.
Especially like if the tequila right when it comes out of the still, if it's going to be a higher alcohol content, usually 55-ish. And that'll be sweet. It'll be hot, but it'll also be sweet because it's just pure distilled agave. But you can always tell if something has additives because there's a different sweetness to it. It's not that agave sweetness. It's it's a little vanilla or it's something else that you can just be like, I don't know if that's real. Right?
Yeah.
There's a little additive in that, and this has none. So the second sip, you just basically Just drink it. And then you always want to breathe out your mouth
Always breathe out after.
after you swallow. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Salud.
And then is
Salud.
it like half of a shot? Is that kind of the
I mean,
idea?
fill your mouth as good as
Yeah,
if
okay.
you want, you know.
I'll tell you what. I've had tequila where by now I'm going.
Yeah.
You know,
No, it's really good.
Dumb and Dumber when he drinks the beer bottle.
Okay,
with the
just
right-
Twitching.
for context, I think it's important. This is the first time we've ever tasted this, so this isn't something that we pre-show. We
Right.
just said we were going to do a full live test.
Yeah.
Of this, and this is our first taste of it. So
You guys both did not make the tequila face.
No.
did not.
No.
And it was actually
Success.
delicious.
Yeah.
It really is good. Like everyone needs to go out and because founder CEO and a huge background in tequila, if they go out and buy this bottle, they'll get to experience this exact process.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
they
it's
will.
important for them if they do this to do the exact thing that we've been taught.
and message and make sure they can message you on either Instagram or
Yeah,
Instagram
we have an
pages.
Instagram. Yeah,
And so-
follow our Instagram for
yeah,
sure.
follow the Instagram and do this process because it was really good.
Really good.
So what walk us through what we just tasted was the
The Joven,
Okay.
which is the only expression that we make.
Joven meaning young, or
It means young in Spanish. We call it like youthful wisdom.
okay.
And it's really just a blend. So it's their version of what a blend would be, a meritage.
Yeah,
you know,
sure,
it's-
Meritage. Yeah.
But
Has there
is that
ever
a
been a
category?
Meritage in the tequila market?
is it a
Yes.
category now?
Okay.
it is
okay.
a category. There's a couple competitors that have them.
But not extensive.
Not a lot. No,
Yeah.
it's very, and you know, it's one of those ones that sort of is kind of sneaks under the radar because it is expensive.
Yeah.
So like Casa Dragones is like a $300 bottle.
Sure.
They're Joven. And when you see that on a list at a restaurant, like a shot might be $100.
Yeah.
You know, where ours is 135. Our shots are anywhere from
30 to
19 to
whatever.
30. Yeah.
at
Depending on
retail,
where you go.
at retail.
Yeah. Or
Or
when
you
you go to restaurants.
in
Yeah.
restaurants. Yeah, right. Okay,
That's where we make our margin.
and so you have the product. Walk us through a little bit about distribution. Are you in San Diego? Are you national? Are you where's the product now?
So
where can people find it also?
We are becoming the tequila of San Diego.
Cool.
So that's where we are. It's our backyard.
Yeah.
We're putting all our marketing dollars there. It's one of the hardest markets to conquer is San Diego.
Yeah.
Because there's so much tequila here, right?
Sure.
And so we decided that it's going to be, the tequila San Diego. No one's really raised that flag here and called their tequila that. We're not out there trying to promote, agave fields and, we're part of this culture down there. We're San Diegans.
Yeah.
We love surf culture. We love beach. We love what San Diego's
Sunshine.
all about. Sunshine. And
We've got a chance to see some of your branding just prior to,
Very cool.
to you coming on. Yeah, it's just really, really classy. It does have a Southern California vibe to it.
Yeah.
High-end Southern California vibe. Is that
that's it.
kind of the brand that
Like
you
throwback
guys
to the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, it's got a little retro to it.
Yeah, I love that.
Kind of back in a time when things
Was
were,
all
When things were okay.
Yeah, things were a little more chill. Well, if you
drink enough tequila, things will be okay.
Absolutely.
right?
Exactly.
That's great.
But yeah, and then we're going to branch out. So we definitely want, the world needs Bebemos for sure. And
I after having it, I'm not kidding you. That is a really good bottle of tequila.
Yeah. And for those who don't speak Spanish, what is Bebemos?
it means we drink.
And just contextually, just from a competitive landscape perspective, there are a lot of tequilas, right?
Yes.
And so you want to own your backyard in San Diego. What is how do you do that? And then once you do that, then how do you scale it nationally, right? Like, so,
Yeah,
because
that's
you
a
also
good
have
question.
you have a good day job, right? So
Right.
it's, you're like, okay,
Or do you just hope to get a little market share and picked up by Constellation or somebody like that,
Yeah, well,
the answer
luckily,
is yes. There's always a number, right?
yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we will sell it.
Yeah.
At some point, most likely. I mean, you don't start a business to sell it. We want to make the best product we can, and really, all of our investors are fired up behind it. But what I was going to say is, luckily, I have a really great partner who's our CEO, and this is his day job.
Oh, I see. So
Preston.
you're founder, but
Yeah.
someone's running the business day.
And he's
Okay.
a co-founder too, and
Got it.
and we're just doing it together. I mean, most of my time is put in on this since I have been doing mortgages forever, and I have a team that does it, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna.
And this is like a passion project, right? So you probably are passionate about tequila.
Yeah.
You as a founder on a product. I'm guessing there's some level of like pride that goes into that, where you have this feeling of like, okay, I know I have a job that is kind of seasoned, but if you have a team where you can rely on the team, this feels like, I mean, again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it feels like this is your baby, right? Like this.
Totally.
You have like
Totally,
some deep.
This is what I dream about. This is what I sleep, eat, breathe, sleep, drink.
Is it interesting? I don't want to take too much more of your time, but is it interesting when you have this great career and success in one business, and then you are almost reborn as an entrepreneur doing something like this? Do you feel a little bit of that?
Oh,
where
100%.
The juices are like you start to flash back
There's
to
a lot of Christian undertones today. We're getting baptized. Now you're reborn.
We've joked about this. We're friends. We've joked about this. He's a religion major from Northwestern, right? Like maybe one of the only religion majors you'll ever meet. So this guy is very philosophical when it comes to.
I just enjoy getting baptized.
Yeah.
Try it over your head.
Oh, man.
So where can our either viewers or people listening, where can they find?
Do we have an online store? Or what's going on?
We want to tag it in some of the stuff too, because we'd love to help promote. This is
absolutely.
It's an incredible tequila. Please do go out and try this, because
love the look, by the way.
That experience was really, really good, and walking us through is super exciting. Like that, just tasting it, it's a different way of tasting a tequila.
Yes.
If you have the founder walk you through it. So
it's unoffensive. It's delicious.
Thank you. And that's what, when we say, we took our time, we really didn't rush this.
I can
4.5
that.
years of just really trying to find the best quality, the best product. And then we worked really hard on the bottle. I mean, it was a labor of love. I mean, my partner, Preston, and our other partner, Patrick, really took their time to make the bottle what it is.
So just really quick, the top is an actual shot glass, which
you can keep. It's a collector.
This is a beautiful shot glass.
Even when you go into that stuff, and this is part of just being an entrepreneur, but it's like, do you think about weight? Because shipping this stuff, like everything, you think about that stuff, right? So that glass has to be a certain weight, and it has to make, because that's going to play into your margin.
Right, it does. And definitely want people to want to keep that.
Yeah.
Right? Not just toss it. And so it has to be heavy,
It
substantial.
is heavy. Here, do you want to?
Yeah, I do actually.
Feel that. It's a
that's the significance. You want to put this in the dishwasher.
You're definitely not throwing that away. There's no question.
No. Right. You might throw it at someone like me, but you wouldn't throw it away.
It could be a weapon.
I'm not wasting that. I'm not wasting that shot glass.
Cool.
But it's an incredible bottle. So the process to pick this bottle, you said, was pretty labor intensive. Is that just a process of kind of
back and forth for hours and hours and weeks and months on end?
There's just so many little things like that people don't understand.
That is kind of one of the fun things about building a product,
or a business,
a business and product in
That's exciting.
Naming it, kind of that. Yeah. It's
a lot to think about,
right?
A lot to think about.
Startup, and you're when you go into a business that it has a big upside, but also is crowded. And
absolutely,
you got to do it intentionally. You got to do everything
The good news is, if you don't have competitors, you don't have a market,
right?
So there's that.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true.
So first, where can people find it? Where can they buy it today?
So we have a website, bebemostequila.com.
Okay, go there, because that's where the margin.
Yeah, I mean that's where we sell right now. So it's online. You can get it within a day or two to your door. But we are very heavily on premise, which means restaurants, bars, nightclubs, golf clubs, stuff like that.
Okay.
And so we're in right now, I think, over 50 locations in San Diego. So on our website also, there's a page that says Find Bebemos, and that has a map of every restaurant that has it.
Great. Is it bebemos.com?
Bebemostequila.com.
Bebemos.com.
Okay. We have for those who
we'll put that on the if people watch the YouTube, they could see
perfect.
it. Yeah.
No, that's great.
Yeah,
very,
for sure.
Very awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you walking us through that. It was really delicious. For everybody listening, I highly recommend in supporting new business. Are you guys still raising capital?
We are.
Okay, so also to visit the website if you have interest in. I know we have some mutual investors that are in this product that we know, and so if there are
they can email me, just jon@bebemostequila.com.
Okay, awesome.
I'm the one that's focused on raising the capital. So.
Okay,
great,
good. Yeah. How much you guys raising currently?
We're ultimately raising 12 total.
Okay,
12 million. We've raised about 4.5 million so far.
Okay. Yeah. We got some room.
Yeah, we got some room.
Yeah. Get your checkbooks out.
Yeah. Stroke a check.
Yeah.
They still use that term at least. Stroke a check.
Stroke a check. Or wire. Either one. Or cash.
Bitcoin.
Thank you very much for coming on today.
It's been so fun.
Thank you very much for us, just being able to host you. And just to our listeners, remember, you can like us, you can add us. If you have questions, I'm enjoying just responding to DMs. We do respond to that. And so thank you very much. And I think that's a wrap.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah,
thank
you very much.
Okay. Salute.
Cheers.